Chapter 5 Beelzebub.
Well done, Clemo.
The voice of Mark Johnson entered his mind.
You have finally slain the vile wizard, preventing him from ever doing any harm to anyone or anything.
Everything was bright from light emanating from everywhere. A hand pierced the light, extending to Clemo. Taking his hand, he felt his body standing up.
What about Jason? Jason is no longer your concern.
The voice was Mark's, but there was a cold indifference to it. But when asked about Jason,
What do you mean?
the light faded, revealing a city Clemo believed to be destroyed. Yet here it was, in perfect condition. The city of Clemo. But how?
Sabin is a good god. His reward to you for your unerring loyalty is to give you that which you truly desire the most, camaraderie.
The city is full of alternate versions of myself. Did they rebuild it so fast, or Sabin restore it? Mark shook his head.
It does not matter.
Clemo looked at him, confused at the response. He opened his mouth to speak for the first time since awakening here. Instead of words, he was rushed upon by his friends and alternate versions of himself, teleporting to him. For Clemo smiled at him, standing picturesque side by side, directly in front of the young teleporter.
Junior!
The woman version of Clemo said, using the nickname all Clemos give one another in order to set themselves apart. They called her Gray.
Missed you, friend.
Twinkle said, as he was probably the greatest teleporter, usually a stealthy one.
Shall we conjure a wave of mischief together?
Magic spellcasting, Clemo said. Their words felt strange to him. They said that's what he would want them to say, yet not what they would actually say. Something didn't feel right. Opening his mouth again to speak, his concern and confusion, Clemo was interrupted by Twinkle appearing next to him, holding a drink, extending it.
For you! We have to celebrate together, my friend.
Something's not right here. Clemo took the drink, trying to figure out what was wrong. Bringing it to his mouth, he paused.
Clemo!
A woman's voice called out. He looked to the left to see a familiar woman running to him.
Theresa?
He said in disbelief. But you hate me for taking part in killing deity.
Silly man, you destroyed hell. I love you, Clemo.
She jumped on him, wrapping her arms around him. Clemo looked back at the other four alternates. You four hate me for choosing Jason over you. Then he looked directly at strong Clemo. And you're dead.
Sabin brought me back. It is part of your reward,
he said. My reward for what? Clemo asked, narrowing his eyes in suspicion. Mark waved his hand in a dismissive fashion.
For destroying hell, of course.
Clemo pushed Theresa away.
Except I didn't destroy hell.
Strong appeared behind him, putting his hand on his shoulder.
Listen, friend, you destroyed hell, believe it or not.
Pulling free of the giant Clemo, he teleported 20 feet ahead, spinning his body to face his comrades. Yeah? Then why do I only remember killing Thossoth? He threw the drink down.
Clemo, calm down.
Theresa had her hands up in a friendly, calming fashion.
Sabin wouldn't bring Shrunk back. The gods are beyond doing that much for me.
Calm, Clemo. You border on blasphemy, Mark said.
No, I don't.
Clemo had his hands on the hilts of his sheathed swords at his sides.
I truly do believe in Sabin, and Sabin would not do this. Why would he help me so much, reward me so much, when there is far too much work to be done? Frankly, I am simply not worth this.
Strong slowly approached Clemo. Clemo? The largest Clemo was cut off by Junior, drawing his swords.
There it is. I could almost buy that Theresa would forgive me and even act like this. I could almost believe that Sabin would find it best to restore this city. I would even buy these three, he pointed at Magic, Gray, and Twinkle, would welcome me with open arms, even after everything. But I would never believe that Sabin would do something as reckless as bring you back.
Clemo turned pointing a finger at Strong accusingly with one sword raised while his other hand tightened his grip. Before Strong could interject, Klimo continued while his eyes stared straight at his large friend. Orcus melded with you. The two of you became one and are inseparable. Sabin would never risk bringing that monstrosity back. I almost believed it, though, but up until you called me Klimo instead of Junior, I would have accepted it. Klimos do not call each other Klimo. Everything went black. Yet he felt still conscious. Swinging, or believing he was swinging his body around, he no longer felt his hands grabbing his swords. Turning even further, or believing he was turning, he realized he no longer felt any of his body. Klimo tried to open his mouth to speak, yet he was not doing that. What is this? I told you not to make them that friendly, Jason's voice said. What do you expect? Came a guttural, unfamiliar voice. I can only do so much. We will just have to try again, Jason said. I don't think we have that option. He is conscious. Do you think he can hear us? Let me check. There was a pause before Jason spoke again. Yes, but none of his other senses are working. This includes his teleportation. Well, erase his mind and we'll start over. No. We've done this thousands of times now. His mind is getting resistant to this. If we keep doing this, he will be completely immune. I need to pull him out. Don't you dare! How do you think he will respond the moment he discovers what you have done? He will go berserk and destroy everything. Not to mention, we have no idea what it can do. I knew your lore lies, but you do not have to treat me like an idiot Beelzebub. Illumination slowly formed, revealing a rocky surface everywhere. The night sky showed countless stars. Klimo looked down at his hands. He breathed a sigh of relief at the ability to move. Hearing his audible sound caused him to speak. What is going on? I am sorry for this, my friend, Jason said as his body materialized just a few feet in front of Klimo. Jason, nothing makes sense. What is going on? Jason raised his palm open. It is not going to make sense. We are inside of your head. This will not be easy to explain. Do you remember killing Jarius Kane? Yes. As you killed him, as a final action, he opened the power of his hellboxes. Whatever was inside of them entered your body that surrounds your soul. All right, why are we inside of my head instead of awake? Why did you fool me so much back there? You said you have done this more than once. What is going on? Are you working with Beelzebub? Jason sighed. This would have been much easier with you unaware, but that is unavoidable now. What would be easier? Extracting those things from you. What are they? Those things that came from the hellboxes. Hard to explain. They are shapeless, colorless, non-corporeal. They almost look like gas, but they are not even that. They are what Jarius Kane has been striving to attain his entire life. They are the essence of Cretan, and if we were to obtain them all, he would be that which he was once again in the previous universe. Yes, but I killed him, so nothing to worry about. Yes, you did. However, you could, for all we know, become Cretan, Jason said. How? I have no idea what those things are or what they do beyond being essential components for that long-dead over-deity. Well, get it out of me and destroy it. I wish it were that simple. I mean, these are literal evil incarnations. I am not convinced they can be destroyed. My best bet is to somehow get them out of you and back into those boxes. And I have to be unconscious for this process because I believe they have become a part of you to the point where they will react based on what you perceive. If that's true, then why are you telling me this? Why not just do it and be done with it while I am asleep? Jason frowned. What's the problem? I've been trying to do exactly that. So try again. Mind wiping or whatever and give it another go. Jason said nothing. Wait.
You can no longer do that, can you? Why is that?
Either your mind is strengthening, or more likely, it is those things that cling to your soul.
Then I don't want to be here in this fake world. Let me out.
Promise you will not overreact when I pull you out.
What will I see when that could possibly cause that? Beelzebub.
You've worked with demons and demon lords before. I will never understand why you do that. Please make me understand. Here you are again, this time with the Lord of Lies himself. How can you possibly want this?
Those things in you are far worse than any devil god. What will it take?
You will not like that answer. Jason sighed.
I will wake you up now.
Please remain calm. Everything turned black once again. The room was dimly lit, making it easy on the eyes. Klimo found himself lying on a metal table. This room was filled with scrying portals revealing things far beyond Klimo's understanding, and even computer monitors the teleporter had little to no experience with. His world of origin was that of sorcery and steel, not logic and technology. Those technologically advanced worlds, as far as Klimo could understand, are or were too self-worshipped in their own achievements to give any worship to the gods. In this thought, he always consoled himself. Comforts were not superior to doing good in the universe. There were only two things in this room. With his enchanted eye, he saw every detail all around. Whether the dim lighting was for his own comfort due to his night vision, or merely a coincidence, he could not tell. The first being was Jason standing next to his metallic bed. The other being was unknown. His magical vision did not detect this second entity, but rather his sense of smell did. That being lingering in the back of the room just in front of the only door smelled horrendous. That thing gave off a stench so vile, Klimo fully awakened from it. His instinct was to draw fission. His weapon and friend were not there as his hands clutched at empty air. The teleporter looked directly at Jason for answers.
You are under my protection, Klimo, was the only explanation Jason offered up. You can't possibly be this naive, Klimo shouted, infuriated, facing Jason as his finger pointed to the creature on the other side of the room. For fuck's sakes, he is the Lord of Lies! I know, friend, I know.
Klimo looked at Beelzebub directly for the first time, absorbing his repulsive features. Its bottom half was that of a slug, while its top half was akin to a morbid, decayed half-man, with arms that drooped or dangled in a useless fashion. Pockmarks were evident on both the slug portion and the man portion. The thing stood or sat, or whatever, on top of a puddle of slime. Its own body was constantly and slowly excreting. His pores, if pores they were, oozed out that slime in a breathing fashion. As a side thought, Klimo imagined that those pores must sound like, and the thought forced him to convulse in disgust. His head had scattered bits of hair, protruding from many of these awful oozy pores. The face of this monstrosity shared many expressions that showed no dominant trait. Within that strange face, sadness, happiness, agony, pleasure, joy, misery, anger, calm, compassion, friendliness, danger, animosity, hope, hopelessness, disgust, attraction, somehow, and a host of many others that gave Beelzebub an unreadable poker face. The slug god slithered through the door without saying a word. Klimo convulsed a second time. Jason, I refuse to accept this. Working with evil to vanquish evil? Jason asked. I know you are far smarter than I could ever be, and you know best, but this, how can this make sense to you? Jason began to walk away towards the same door Beelzebub walked through. Let me show you something. There is someone I want you to see. They proceeded through a hallway that had no definitive features. It struck Klimo as strange, but he couldn't pay attention to it. Entering a room that was too big to be part of any house, Klimo took mental note of the strangeness here, especially with the obscure line patterns reminding him of magic. What is this?
He is here, Clemo.
Who was here?
Him.
Jason pointed to the center of the room. Here, in this room, housed a singular soul that thrashed in agony and confusion. What is this soul's crime? Jason chuckled. Look closer at him. You and I know this soul. Peering closer, Clemo squinted, his magical vision not working. It was only then that he noticed. My magical eye. It isn't working here. Why? This room hinders all magic, Jason hastily said. Ah. Clemo stepped closer to get a better look at this soul. They had long blonde hair, blue eyes, a slender frame, and that all too familiar face Clemo recognized. Jarius Kane, but I killed him. Where did you think his soul would go upon his death? Jason still held a smile. What is his eternity? He prided himself on his magic and cleverness, so Beelzebub has made him an eternally confused, powerless wizard. Clemo chuckled, then frowned. No punishment is too harsh for this one. Shaking his head, he continued, I find no pleasure in seeing him in this pathetic state of stupidity. I thought I would, though. I feel the same. Jason wrapped his arm around Clemo's neck, pulling him gently to leave the room. Come, Clemo, there is more to show you. Clemo did not resist the forced physical movement, a thing that was odd for Jason to do. He kept his eye on Jarius until they left the room. After the door closed, he turned to his friend. Is it wise to keep his soul alive? I mean, we only risk his return. The former over-deity has no chance of ever coming back to life, Jason said with his eyes staring straight as they continued to walk. And everything is just wrapped up all nice and neat? What about Garrix? As if Garrix himself were listening, the entire hall shook uncontrollably. He is attacking Beelzebub as we speak. Clemo stopped walking. Jason stopped with him, almost tugging the teleporter with the abrupt stop. With a frown of disbelief, Clemo shook his head, lifting the arm of Jason from his person. Clemo expressed that disbelief. Too convenient, Beelzebub. What do you mean? Jason turned to Clemo as he turned his face. The part of his face that was turned away, as it was revealed, was melted like a painting, fleshly turpentined. At the far end of the hall, the slug god sat or stood watching. Clemo noticed him in the distance. The features of Jason were twofold. The part of Jason that were seen a moment ago still looked exactly like him, while the unseen parts, such as his left half, were mutated, like a bad dream. The arm that wrapped around his neck was long and snake-like. Even the hand of that mutant arm was that of a snake. It snapped at Clemo. Clemo vanished, teleporting the other side of the false Jason. He ran towards Beelzebub, drawing his swords. How many fake worlds will you put me in? As Clemo reached the Lord of Lies, he swung vision. The god waved like water as his swords passed through. It felt even like water. The form of Beelzebub evaporated. False Jason stretched his snake arm to Clemo, wrapping around him, strangling him this time. As many as the Masters wants. His voice hissed like a snake. I do not care how real this feels. I refuse to accept this sensation of suffocation, Clemo declared. His vision blurred as the creature laughed. Soon, everything went black. Flailing his arms, waking up, he sat drenched in a cold sweat. He sat on cold stone, as were the walls and ceiling. Merely a singular solid iron door existed here. This room is dark. My enchanted eye does not work here, proving this is yet another false reality. Across from him, already awake and staring back, was Jason, hunched against the wall, wearing ragged clothing. Struggling to stand up, Jason stopped him with words. Save your strength. Where are we? You probably aren't even Jason. I could just as easily say the same about you. Jason waved his hand, dismissing Clemo's words, while eyeing the teleporter with his own suspicion. Clemo wore a skeptical frown. Metal scraping sounds protruded from the door, turning his attention to it. The heavy metallic door swung open. In walked two men wearing blank, thoughtless expressions. Without a word, they grabbed Jason, hauling him out. Clemo jumped to his feet, ready to defend himself, even if he was just an illusion. Reaching for Fission at his sides, he realized that his blade was not with him. He pointed at Jason to teleport him to the side, only to have nothing happen. The two men took Jason away, shutting the door behind themselves, locking it before Clemo could even reach them. He fell back against the nearby wall, sliding down in a crouched position, placing his head into his hands. Damn it! Is anything even real anymore? Nice try, Beelzebub, a voice called from outside. Clemo looked up at the small barred window in the middle of the door. A face was seen. It was his own face, except it had both eyes. The one-eyed man cocked his head in confusion. Who are you? The outsider shook his head. Yeah, I don't buy it. They left. Clemo rushed to the bars, trying to get as close as possible. Wait, but... They were already gone. Looking out of his small window, he viewed the outside hallway, revealing countless rooms identical to the one he occupied. Or so he assumed. The full length of the hallway could not be determined, due to his visual angle. No soul was seen until he looked directly at the adjacent room. It held a man that looked identical to himself. He glared at the doppelganger. Who are you? The stranger, wearing his face, looked up at him. How many illusions will you throw at me, devil? What insanity is this? I am no illusion. Prove it, the stranger screamed. I am Clemo. You appear to be Clemo as well. Tell me something only a Clemo could know, and I will do the same. The other Clemo laughed. Are you really going to try that again? Their laughter became hysterical. How many times will you devils tell me that? I am done with this. All of you are fake. Clemo pulled his head back, returning his body to the wall, slumped his body back down. What the hell is this? Hours passed. Clemo was passed out, for he was awakened by the door opening and Jason being thrown back in, followed by the door shutting again. He rushed over to Jason to see if he was all right. Real or not, you were the only one I could talk to. Jason, what did you do? What did they do to you? What are they going to do to me? Jason sat up against the wall. Every thought I have has been scanned by Beelzebub. Every memory, skill, psychic power, capability, and feeling I have, he now has access to. If you are real, he's done the same to you. Jason eyed Clemo with uncaring eyes. He knows how to counter any power we have. He knows what we know the moment we know it. We cannot formulate a plan against a foe that can alter our senses any way he desires. Even now, he has his attention on me. I've been bested, Clemo. Clemo paced. He continues to run me through illusion after illusion. Why? Jason shook his head. I do not know. To confuse us, maybe? Well, he's succeeded in that. What if there is some truth to these lies? The best lies are always spun around the truth, Jason commented. I have something he wants. Psychic energy? You have more of that than me, Jason. No. Clemo shook his head and thought. One of the illusions pointed out that whatever was in those hell boxes is now inside of me. It must be. The door swung open. No unlocking sounds were heard. Through the door, the same two hulking men lumbered in. Their faces were still blank, with either dead or hypnotized eyes. Without a word, they seized Clemo by the arms, hauling him out. He tried to resist, but couldn't outmatch their strength. Surely this too is another false reality. They brought him down to the end of the hallway, where there was no door but an open indoor area. Tossing him onto a large platform, Clemo took in the surroundings. The men walked to the doorway and stood on both sides, thus preventing any possible escape. The platform was metallic, with no other definitive features. Beyond the platform was a control panel with a plethora of buttons and levers. At the controls was none other than Beelzebub staring at Clemo. With his impossible-to-read face, the devil god of lies said nothing as he flipped one switch. Clemo tried to back away, only to discover that whatever Beelzebub did, it had hindered his leg movement entirely. The bottom of his feet were glued to the platform, or stuck like a strong magnetic pole. Now what? The devil shrugged as he pulled another lever. The part of the platform directly under Clemo shifted and slithered, forming a shape of a chair as it lifted up, forcing the helpless swordsman to sit down. It enveloped his wrists and even formed a seatbelt, strapping him in. Just take the hellbox stuff. I have no desire to have that evil in me. I have no desire to have that from you, the devil god said. Clemo contorted his face, confused. Then what do you want? He laughed his devil laugh, bellowing with a guttural voice that slithered with every sound. Absolutely disgusting was that sound which the devil made out of mockery. I can see your mind, little teleporter. Just kill me and get it over with already. Lifting a thin yellow finger, Beelzebub shook it at Clemo. No, he said without looking at his victim. Your eternity has only just begun. The finger came down, pushing a button. Electricity shot through Clemo from the chair. Pain surged all around him. The pain rendered every muscle stiff and useless. Even his voice was lost. Clemo! Came a distant whisper in his mind. The pain was too intense to pay attention to whatever that was. I have to experiment with you to find out what exactly is inside of you and how I can use it. We have a lot of variations of pain to go through before I will try another method on you. His finger pushed the same button. No effect. The muscle spasm ceased. He took in a deep breath of relief, trying to pull himself together psychologically. Beelzebub pushed in a different button. This caused ice to form from the chair. Extreme cold did not give a numbing sensation, but just the bitter frostbite feeling all across his body. His body shivered as he tried to thrash to escape this chair, but to no avail. Clemo! Came the same mental call in the back of his mind. Still, he could not notice or pay attention to it. Beelzebub ceased the cold treatment. With a hand on his chin, the Lord of Lies pondered out loud. Something is not quite right here. I can't quite pinpoint exactly what it is. With a shrug, he dismissed the thought. Time for the next one. Pushing another button, he caused the platform to form into a second object. A large tube solidified just in front of Clemo. It was large, but became smaller the further from he it was. It could only be described as a funnel. Beelzebub slithered his way to the small farther end of the funnel. His lips were placed around the tiny end of it. Before anything happened, he knew what this thing was. Before he could form horn in his mind, he was blasted by the immense vocal power of Beelzebub. The rushing sound boomed just inches from his face. His hair was blown back, flowing from the immense power of this sonic thrust. A loud pop was felt, not heard, from both his ears, and before blood even trickled down, Clemo knew it would. His eyes shut tightly, trying to endure this awful pain in his head. Clemo, you must listen to me, came the voice a third time. This time Clemo could not deny it. Someone or something was trying to communicate with him. Beelzebub moved his head around the horn to look at Clemo. While the sight of this grotesque devil horrified him, it was a relief to have a reprieve from the noise. The deity frowned. Nothing. What a shame. He slithered back to the control panel. What torture would you prefer next? There are at least 42 different pains we have to go through. Perhaps you might enjoy something sexual. I know, sexual tortures are a soft thing, but I really want that stuff from you. Pushing a button caused the horn to reshape into a person, yet paper thin. This will cover your entire body, and will. Beelzebub frowned unexpectedly. No, you aren't ready for that one. Pushing the button again, he caused it to melt back into the platform. He pulled the lever, causing the chair to straighten out, forcing Clemo to lay down. Have you ever felt the pain of being skinned alive? Clemo made no facial expression. He refused to give this devil the satisfaction. Of course you haven't. We will have to get started on that one. Yes, I know it seems like a despator method, but we are talking about physical pain here, so it cannot be avoided. The platform formed a variety of long, sharp objects, from barbs to razors to talons, and even a few unidentifiable things. They lashed out, tearing into the flesh, ripping off of the muscle. The pain was unbearable. Clemo could not help but scream from this. Soon there was no skin left, and yet those horrible torture blades continued to rip pieces from his body. Clemo, you must escape! I'm trapped! Help me! Clemo screamed out. Beelzebub looked at him. His expression was unreadable. What is this now? Of course you are trapped. You should not be delirious. No one is coming to help you or save you, silly Elin. The devices continued to rip bits and pieces from Clemo. Clemo, only you can escape. No, I am powerless and trapped. Beelzebub ignored his torture screams. Pulling a lever caused the blades to work faster, tearing off flesh and splattering blood across the room from the speed they moved. Clemo, just wake up and come to me. Only you can save you. The Lord Elias has fooled you. Fooled me? Both Beelzebub and Clemo realized at the very same moment what was going on. The devil realized that a voice was contacting him during the torture, the most likely moment to break through his divine illusion. While Clemo realized that none of this was real, he had been deceived into believing his powers did not work. Clemo vanished from the chair. Opening his eyes, Clemo found himself surrounded by floating, legless things. They were as physical as they were ethereal. There were strings of psychic energy coming from them and flowing into him. Drawing Fission, the swordsman immediately swung, cutting them down. Finally! You've been trapped in there way too long. We have to get to Jason, the sword said. I do not know if this is real or not. Clemo slashed with an anger he had never known, but I am glad to kill something. It did not take long for him to make short work of these psychic intruders. They had no physical prowess of any kind. Rushing out of the room, he looked around with tightly gripping Fission. Where is Jason? Beelzebub did something to his mind. Be careful, Clemo, Fission said. The path was simple with its singular direction. He sprinted into a room that resembled the room he was just tortured in. Where the platform stood, Jason had his back to him. Nothing else was in the room. Clemo, I don't like this, Fission commented. Real or not, I have no choice. He proceeded with caution, his swords at the ready. As he approached, Fission felt warm, then hot, and finally too hot to hold. The blades became bright white. Clemo dropped Fission in two forms. Ah! You will not be needing that, Beelzebub, Jason said. Shit, Clemo said. Jason turned around. Clemo realized that his enchanted eye worked once again. He actually saw things as they truly were. This is no illusion. Unfortunately, around Jason's eyes lay some kind of magic. Jason's, it's me, Clemo. Sure you are. Jason fired a bolt of psychic energy at his friend. Clemo teleported behind Jason, grappling him, trying to hold him down. He controls what you see. It is me, the real Clemo, not that hideous slug.
Jason's body surrounded himself with fire. Clemo let go, jumping back before he was burned. We have traveled together for years. Another bolt was hurled at Clemo. The swordsman tumbled to the left, avoiding it. Together we killed demon lords. Another bolt, along with another dodge. We even killed gods, Jason. Clemo was lifted into the air by a psychic hold. You must snap out of this. I believe in you more than the gods. Clemo vanished, teleporting to the other side of the room. You will not fool me again, Beelzebub. Jason stared into Clemo's eyes, making psychic contact through his ocular senses. Wow, even your thoughts are identical to Clemo's. You copied his memories and everything. Lord of Lies, you are remarkable at your perseverance. Jason, it is me. Your psychic defenses are strong, but you fool me not in the least.
Clemo did the only thing he could think to do. With Jason rummaging through his head, he had no time to think. Jason knew his every thought and intention. Clemo performed an emergency teleport on both himself and Jason. The teleport was faster than thought, and more dangerous than running into a minefield. This was the cause of his missing eye, pinky finger, and several other deformities across his body. Transported across time, space, dimension, universe, and plane of existence, the two could end up anywhere or anywhen. Light protruded across the two as they tried to ascertain their surroundings. Jason rushed to attack, but ceased his movement. The magic over his eyes faded away as it could not exist where they were. Clemo? Is it really you? Clemo clutched his shoulder where his right arm used to be. This was the price for using an emergency teleport. The wound was cauterized and closed. A small mercy, whatever that was worth. The pain persisted, though. It slowly numbed itself, but was still present. I have no idea what I would do if that did not work. We are no longer in hell. Beelzebub cannot use his illusions on us wherever we are, Jason said. Do not use that blasphemous name here, in this holy place, that familiar angelic voice said. The two psychics looked about, finally taking in their surroundings. Mark Johnson, the Archon, stood nearby, as if he was expecting them. We are in Celestia, Jason said. Yes, you are. This is the only heaven remaining in all of creation, Mark said. Jason approached the Archon. It is not a coincidence that we are here, is it? No, it is not. By the power of Sabin, you have been guided here. Manipulating that teleportation was no easy feat. Mark, I like you, but why doesn't Sabin show himself instead of sending you? Why not contact us directly? Jason asked. Mark shook his head. This is the will of Sabin. You have killed his brothers, and for this, his aid to you is limited. He will never reveal himself to you. Can the power of Sabin restore my arm, or is his help going to be that limited? Clemo's serious tone was as polite as he could muster. The power of Sabin can accomplish anything. Can his power restore the universe and bring it back into motion, or is that beyond your God? Jason said more than asked. Sabin is balanced, and his wisdom finds no fault in a universe without time. Everything is still and unmoving, with no law or chaos, Mark answered. Jason, we cannot afford a fight with Sabin, especially in his realm, Clemo interjected. Jason nodded his agreement and said nothing. He backed away from Mark. Why guide us here, Mark? Clemo asked. This was the best course of action. I have been instructed to give you something to protect you from the deceptions of the Lord of Lies. The spell is the most we can do for you this time. A faint glow surrounded both Jason and Clemo. Clemo was still clutching where his arm was. Am I truly expected to attack a devil god with just one arm? Mark did not answer the question. Clemo glared, accepting the permanent loss of his arm. He changed the subject. How can we kill him? If you have not deduced that by now, then you are not as capable as Sabin and I believe. Jason turned to Clemo to face him. Clemo, he is the Lord of Lies. His death must have something to do with dishonesty or honesty. You cannot remain here. Sabin cannot have the evil that resides within you, Clemo, to taint this holy realm. I wish I could do more for you, my friend. This is our goodbye. It is unlikely we will see one another again. Before Clemo could protest, Jason pulled him away. Come on, time to leave. How will we kill Beelzebub? He's the Lord of Lies. In order to make him vulnerable to mortality, we must make him admit a universal truth, and not something like gravity or something that goes against the very core of his nature. Finally returned, I see. Beelzebub commented with his back turned to Jason and Clemo. He snapped his fingers, altering everything around these two, changing the stone cavernous environment to that of a small village. Your tricks will not work on us, Jason said as he stepped forward. No. The devil's voice mocked his statement. You do not recognize this place, do you? We refuse to give in to your shit. Clemo stepped forward alongside Jason. You should. Jason turned around. Oh, you bastard. Even by manifesting my home village as it was before it was destroyed, your kind will do nothing to alter your fate. The first hint of discernible features showed on Beelzebub's face. He smiled, snapping his fingers a second time manifested people walking around this place. Did you ever wonder what happened to the people of this village? Your kind slaughtered them, Jason said, still approaching the devil. The creature waved his hand, dismissing the blunt comment. Not their lives, their souls. What do you think happened to them? Who cares? Clemo teleported next to Beelzebub, swinging his singular sword. The other was sheathed. Clemo suddenly stopped in mid-air, unable to move. He looked back at Jason to see his psychic energy held him at bay. Jason, why? I care. Go on, devil, enlighten me. What happened to their souls? With a chuckle, the devil talked. You are probably thinking they went to some heaven somewhere. He paused, giving Jason a chance to interject. Jason said nothing. Well, most of them did, yes. Well, all but one, that is. Not only have the good gods been watching you, but so have we. There were 2 survivors of the demonic attack. One of them stands before me. The other, you see, well... Jason narrowed his eyes. The good gods made a terrible mistake in allowing your kind to attack that place. They did the only thing they could to attempt to make up for their atrocity. This ensured every victim was sent to the highest heaven. There is no way you devils could have intervened. Correct, Beelzebub said. None of the people that died by the hands of demons on that day in that place could possibly go to any other place than the one you said. Someone other than yourself, however, died neither on that day nor in that place. And most importantly, not by any demonic means. The devil was laughing. An old memory flashed across Jason's mind's eye. A memory of someone that meant the universe to him and made him refuse to walk down the path of destiny. Long before Jason even became an Elin, long before any true power ever manifested from this psyche, long before even the term metamind was ever heard of, Jason escaped the demonic attack on his town as an 8-year-old. He and one other got out alive and intact. This person, Jason, had sworn to take care of. Clemo confronted Jason on many occasions to follow the path to become the superior psychic. Only Jason refused each and every time due to his responsibility to his younger sister. Then one day, there was a break-in, and Jason could do nothing to save his sister from their assault. She died, and Jason pursued his path at Clemo's request. Jaina. Jason whispered her name. Beelzebub snapped his fingers again, this time conjuring an image of Jaina exactly as Jason remembered her. Jason, he is the Lord of Lies. Do not believe this, Clemo pleaded, still trapped in the air. Beelzebub chuckled. Maybe I am lying. Maybe I'm half lying. Or maybe I am telling the truth. Think about it, man of mine. It was no easy task, but not impossible for us to accomplish if you really think about it. Those good gods, as they are known, would have no reason to care about this little girl. He pointed at the image. Clemo is right. I refuse to believe anything Lord Elias says. The image of Beelzebub altered, his face a bit. His expression was easily readable for the first time. His laughter was hysterical, yet had confidence in it. You will believe me, because I have absolutely no reason to lie. You would still lie, Jason said. True. If you want her back, or even to know she is fine, you will do exactly as I say. Jason, do not give in to this madness, Clemo pleaded. What do you want? Jason demanded. No. Jason, don't. Exactly. We have a great deal of work to do, you and I. Ha! Jason smirked. You conjure an image of my sister, then think I will just fall apart and become your servant? We are going to kill you, devil. Make no mistake about that. Beelzebub ceased his laughter. He made a straight face. Do you see my form? You are a disgusting slug, Clemo said, still stuck in the air. Do you honestly believe that I enjoy this? No, you don't. You need our help to fix that, don't you? Jason asked. You will help me kill Asmodeus. In return, you can have your sister back. There is no other way. Agree to this. Make my bargain. So all of this nonsense about the hell boxes, and you don't even care about those, do you? Clemo said. Beelzebub extended his arm to Clemo. Opening his palm, the hell box materialized before the one-armed man. It opened up. The black smoke exited, the evil device flowing from the box and into Clemo. Not in the least, it is yours. Whatever vile part of Creedon was in there is now in you, Clemo. Beelzebub turned back to Jason. I can further prove my words by giving you what you want. Jason stared at the devil, wearing no expression on his face. The Lord of Lies is nothing. His body shimmered. The Lord of Lies will never be more than that. Beelzebub will never exceed my position. I will always and forever be a slug. This universal truth I give to you. Now, if you ever want to see your dear Jaina again, I suggest you. Jason's eyes widened with surprise. As he talked, Jason thought, he actually did just that. Why would he make himself vulnerable like this? What do I do now? I could actually kill him, here and now. I could, but then I would never see Jaina again. Clemo did not wait to contemplate. Seizing the opportunity, his body surged with psychic energy, too much for Jason to continue to hold. Clemo vanished from the air, emerging in front of the slug god. Both slashing his web, using his teleporting talent, Clemo swung his blade while tearing the body of Beelzebub apart. The Lord of Lies died with no difficulty. He gambled on Jason's feelings for his dead sister, but thought nothing of Clemo. When a powerful, fiendish entity dies, it commonly has a death throes, usually in the form of an explosion.
something more powerful will have an even more powerful effect. The demon lord Ammon turned into a black hole, decimating his entire abysmal realm with him. Pazuzu exploded with something that reversed the mentality of everything near him. Good turned to evil, evil turned to good, chaos into law, and law into chaos. Orcus ruptured time and space. There were evil creatures far more powerful than demon lords. The devil gods are those creatures, and they themselves get death throes. Garrix is still alive. Despator and Levistus were no longer gods. When they died, Garrix spared them in exchange for their divinity. Their deaths had no special attribute. When the good god of chaos and non-humans' deity died, chaos ceased to exist in the material planes. When the lawful good god of humans, Guardian, died, law ceased to exist in the material planes, leaving the material planes without order and chaos, making themselves timeless and still forever. Clemo was too incoherent to see what happened when Thosoth died, though not nearly as significant as removing time from existence. The loss of sexuality throughout the mortals was still powerful. Now Beelzebub has died. The Lord of Lies is no more. Maybe the multiverse is better off without deceit. End of Chapter 5.